Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, we got some great information the Most High has given me to share with you. Just more confirmation and more ammunition about how the Most High is bringing this truth and how the priesthood of Mahan, the demiurge, the demons of this world have been lying about absolutely everything, and how confederate the vast majority of the people here in this world are against us. I'm going to jump right into it right now. We're going to get into this comment that I shared yesterday in the community section, but it went perfectly with the information that the Most High wanted me to bring out this morning. I already had other videos already primed and ready to go, but yesterday afternoon, the Most High was reading, going through some information, and the Most High just put this video together real quick. Everything was just starting to match up real quick and really well. So I figured Most High wanted me to bring this out this morning, just more confirmation of just how crazy things are. And then this comment came up, which actually goes exactly with what we're going to be getting into today. So I do hope you don't mind me butting in, but I just experienced a confirmation, okay, of all that we all have been dealing with. I am a hospice RN. I have a dying, or that has a, what is it? Dying, I'm probably a patient, I guess, that has lived for more than 100 years. She is now dying and was non-responsive for 3 days. Well, that night she woke up in tears, looked at her family that were surrounding her bed, looked at them and said, "What if everything we learned was a lie?" Crying, she told them, "I'm scared to die now." For me, that's confirmation. All praises to the Most High, all praises. What if everything you've been taught is a lie? Well, we're here to tell you that everything you have been taught is a lie. And the Most High is bringing the truth, and to the ones who will be willing to accept it, the ones who will have their eyes open to accept the truth, that everything that they've been taught is a lie. The other nations are all about hiding everything that they've done. They're all about hiding everything that they've done to us as a people. They're all about hiding who we are as a people. They're about hiding the greatness of what we have achieved before they came on the scene. So we're just gonna, kind of review a few things that disproves that everything you've been taught is a lie. You've been taught that the Bible was for everyone, but it's the records of one particular family. But what you're going to see today is that those records have been manipulated in order for them to be presented as some universal doctrine. You're also going to see that white Jesus and the whole Christian religion has been set up so that you can sneakily ask for forgiveness for what has happened, or what your ancestors or what your people have done to the Most High's chosen people, without you really admitting what you've done to the Most High's chosen people. That's what you're going to realize, is that the Gentiles do a lot of these things sneakily. Just like the video yesterday talking about Weon, and how, all of a sudden they're talking about the human rights violations of America against the so-called black people and the Aborigines here. While America's going around and accusing all these other countries of human rights violations, they're all bucking up now and saying a little something. But it's like, hey, you're not doing it because you care. You're doing it because they're pointing a finger at you. If you really cared, you would have already spoken up a long time ago, but you didn't. Your silence just means that you went along with the program. So let's take a look here real fast at some of the things that, hey, you just imagine, being unresponsive for 3 days, maybe what she saw, maybe what this, what this lady here experienced. But whatever it was, it changed her whole perspective. Some people, at the end of their life, they become, they're comfortable. They're like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to pass on to the, because I said Jesus. So therefore, I'm good now. And maybe her being gone for 3 days let her know that that was not the case. Just like the story of rich man and Lazarus. Lazarus, didn't have anything, suffered. And I'm sure when he died, it was a very uneventful occasion. But when the rich man died, they talked to him, I'm sure, about all the great things he did and all the great things he accomplished. And, how I'm sure he's in heaven, because that's what they always say about everybody that dies. Oh, they're in a better place now. They earned their wings. They're in heaven now. But we know how that story went. Things were not as they seemed. So some things you guys have been lied to about. The 400-year prophecy, 1619 and 2019. We weren't sure exactly where to start, but if you look at the 2019, how everything has just gone downhill ever since 2019, it seems that there's some validity to these numbers. But see, society will tell you that the 400-year enslavement happened in Egypt in the book of Exodus, which is a lie. It was 430 years, and it was a lot of sojourning going on by Abraham for, I think, the first 215 years. And then the Israelites went into Egypt voluntarily. They were not enslaved. It was the coming together of the sons, and they were there for a while. And then later on, a Pharaoh was raised up that forgot about Joseph and the things that the Israelites had done for them, and then they enslaved them. It wasn't the 400-year prophecy being fulfilled back then. And also, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom would have had been enslaved together. And during that time in Egypt, the actual Levites weren't even there. They actually had left. They weren't actually into slavery. But that's in another book. Those are in the books of Jasher. Okay? So that's something else you guys have been lied to about as far as prophecy is concerned. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. You're going to see how they manipulated the scriptures. And people, hey, if you are into the 66 books only, you're part of the problem. Because you're allowing the priesthood of Mahan to get away from their destruction of the Most High's chosen people. You're going to see, like I said, how the Confederation goes. All the people that are 66 books only, letting the priesthood of Mahan, dictate what they read, they're all part of the conspiracy as well. They want to fake like they're all against each other and they fight and argue between the Christians and the Catholics. You're all the same. You're all going to be celebrating Ishtar tomorrow. You're all celebrating Good Friday last night. Somehow you're getting 3 days from Friday to Saturday, Saturday night, Sunday morning. You're getting 3 days out of that. You're all Confederate and all that garbage. You're all going to be trying to do your little Easter egg hunts tomorrow. So you're all the same. Don't care what you guys try to put out to the public. And that's what you're going to see, that they fake all these things out in the public, but behind closed doors, they're just sitting there laughing at us. Democrats, Republicans, red states, blue states, Christians, Catholics, Americans, and all of their little lackeys from Psalms 83. They're all the same. Thinking that you don't have to pay for slavery. That's another lie. Thinking that Most High is not going to punish the ones who were responsible for this is another lie. Just thinking you can ignore it. I wasn't here. I didn't do any. You weren't a slave. So all the while you are benefiting from the society, just like all these other nations. See, when Weon does their little videos, it's like, hey, you guys benefited from slavery. You benefited. The whole world benefited from taking over our lands and taking over our resources. And all the people who have been confederate against Israel are going to pay. But your churches try to teach you otherwise. But that's, again, like the lady said, when she came out of that coma for 3 days, she was unresponsive. What if everything we've been taught is a lie? Stolen legacy. A lot of you Europeans think that the Greeks were the one that came up with all these great scientific and mathematical discoveries. All the while, all over the place, it talks about how the Greeks rediscovered ancient information. They took this information and just plagiarized it and made it seem as if it was theirs. Your whole foundation of your greatness with the Greeks is nothing but a bunch of lies. So like she said, what if everything you've been taught is a lie? And if you don't believe me, research this stuff yourselves. If you scroll back, I have videos on these topics, on this information, and then you can also go get the books, get the information, study it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go study it for yourself. But get some, primary sources. Try to find some primary sources on this information. Not secondhand information. ISIS Unveiled. First edition, first printing, 1877, Blavatsky. Less than 20 in existence. Why is that? Why are there so few of these books in existence? Oh, we'll let you know why. Because most were destroyed by the Catholic and other Christian churches. Why are they burning books? Why are they hiding information? Because they're trying to hide their dirty hands. They're trying to hide their blood-soaked hands. Their hands are soaked with our blood. And they're trying to hide it because they don't want to have to pay for it now. Right here, Atlantis, the antediluvian world right here. Let's see. Without Atlantis, how can we explain the fact that the early Egyptians were depicted by themselves as red men on their own monuments? And on the other hand, how can we account for the representations of Negroes on the monuments of Central America? Yes, Negroes were the Aborigines. They were the original people. There were statues of them. There's all these, they had all of these statues all over the place, and they still do. They just don't show them to you, or they hide them inside the murals of many of the of the pyramids here. They have so-called Negroes painted on them over here in the Americas. So Desiree Charnay, now engaged in exploring those monuments, has published in the North American Review, for December 1880, photographs of a number of idols exhumed at San Juan de Teotihuacan, from which I select the following strikingly Negroid faces. They don't want you to realize that we were already here. They want you to believe that we all came from Africa, so that as we awaken and we started to make complaints, they can say, oh, we'll take your ass back to Africa. We saved you. We saved you from being, living in the jungles, being uncivilized. Because they can't tell you these lands are yours and that we would have to leave. Like I said, when you realize everything you've been told is a lie. And in these pictures and the later editions of this book, were taken out, hidden. If it wasn't true, why are you hiding original pictures? Why are you hiding original information? It says, besides the sculptures of long bearded men seen by the explorer at Chichen Itza. There were tall figures of people with small heads, thick lips, and curly short hair or wool, regarded as Negroes. Okay, this is a Chichen Itza. Okay, so when you keep saying like Mexicans and and Central Americans and Guatemalans, and you're showing the people that are there now, they're doing that on purpose so that you don't show who was there originally. Our people are mixed in because we're mixed in, but don't try to make it seem as if the ones that are there now were the only ones that were here. So, like you said, what happens if you wake up after 3 days of being responsive, and all of a sudden, what if everything we've been taught is a lie? So again, besides the sculptures of long bearded men seen by the explorer at Chichen Itza, there were tall figures of people with small heads, thick lips, and curly, short hair or wool, regarded as Negroes. We always see them as standard or parasol bearers, but never engaged in actual warfare. So the following cut is from the court of the palace of Palenque, figured by Stevens. The face is strongly Ethiopian. The figure below represents a gigantic granite head found near the volcano of Tuxtla and the Mexican state of Veracruz at Chaxapa. The features are unmistakably Negroid. These are the people that were already here. These are just a few. I'm just going to review on a couple of things, couple of topics. There's many more we could get into that shows you that everything you've been taught is a lie. Now, wait till we get into these scriptures. We're going to get into an older Bible from 1801 that's going to easily show you. We're going to compare that to the same scriptures found in your NIV. And you're going to see how the Gentiles have gone out of their way to hide the truth. To hide the truth so that the prophecies that are being fulfilled today, you would be totally unaware of. And it confirms that the people who are doing the 66 books only are all part of this, Psalms 83 conglomerate. And a lot of the ones, even people who are have the Apocrypha, but then it's not that hard to get these Bibles that actually have the the precepts in them that so then you can't just make up your own meanings, but you get more of the original understanding. That's what we're going to be talking about shortly. But we're just reviewing a couple things right here. We just reviewed a couple of things that shows you that just a couple of topics that shows you that everything you've been taught is a lie. This is the old Bible, okay? The Old and New Testaments with the Apocrypha, translated out of the original tongues and with former translations. Okay, so take a look at the bottom. You'll see this Bible here is from 1801. Now, this one doesn't have as many of the precepts as my other Bible from like the 1830s. But what this one does have, it has like a brief synopsis of every chapter, which is actually pretty amazing because when you get into the Apocrypha, it's giving you a brief synopsis of what each chapter is about. So you can't just go in and just make up whatever it is you want. So you use this Bible along with one from 1830s, you can get a brief synopsis of each chapter. And then with the 1830 Bible, you can get way more precepts from the books in the Apocrypha. But this one, we're just going to concentrate on this one because it's got a couple of precepts that are huge. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. So you see the little synopsis right there. Tells you that kind of like as you're reading like up to certain verses, what's going on. So this prophecy is certain. God will take vengeance upon the wicked, upon Egypt, and horrible vision. Babylon and Asia are threatened. Now again, God will take vengeance upon the wicked, upon Egypt. Now we know this isn't the land masses over there in Egypt right now because that had already happened. This is a new Egypt, a new Babylon. A new land is going to take us into captivity. Now, let's see here. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Now, the Gentiles just took all this out. Because see, they don't want to, they know they can't explain this. They know they can't explain it away. Just like in previous videos, I talked about how the church can't go into Revelation, can't go into Ezekiel, definitely cannot go into the valley of dry bones. So they just don't even talk about it. Or if they do, they try to make it seem like this is something that's happening in the future. But this is going to let you know, this is going to confirm right now that this happened in the past, that this happened in 1492 when they came over here. That was a huge fulfillment of prophecy. It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Now just think about that. What if everything you've been taught is a lie? You're being unfaithful. You're not following the truth. And many are going to die in that unfaithfulness, in those lies. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Do you not see that happening already? Do you not see that in your news all the time? Do you not see that starting to escalate after 2019? For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. You came over here in 1492. You destroyed the Most High's chosen people. You destroyed the saints of the Most High. So again, 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord. That wickedness is all over, that priesthood of Mahan, everywhere. Okay? Polluted the whole earth. Psalms 83. All of you are guilty. None of you have come to the aid of the Israelites. So don't act like all of a sudden now you want to do a couple of stories like you care, because you don't. And the Most High already knows that you don't care. He hears what you say behind those closed doors. He knows your heart. He knows that you're only bringing it up right now in order to save face. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Now, this is a huge part right now, because this is going to show you what this is talking about. See, I heard Paul and Adrian, what Paul was talking about on Off-Grid Desert Prepper, how the Christian church are the saints. The Christian church are the elect. You got to be kidding me. You have not gone through anything. Not yet. And you guys think you're the saints? You think you're the elect. What does it say right here? I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. How in the hell would your Christian church be considered the innocent and righteous blood? Your Christian churches don't even follow the commandments. Your Christian churches do the opposite of the commandments. Your Christian churches go all over the world, rape, robbing, and murdering. And when someone tries to defend themselves, you act as if you're the ones being persecuted. Because they just don't sit down and just take whatever it is you're bringing and you kill them and they fight back. That's the problem, is when they fight back. And you get the same kinds of things today. They do it like, oh, if someone says something about you and you actually defend yourself, you're in the wrong. See, that's that church spirit. And they even use it in the truth. If you defend yourself, somehow you're wrong. You should just let them say whatever it is they want to say about you, and you don't say anything back. That shows you that spirit that has been pervasive all around the world for these last few thousand years. Now, the main thing you want to see is you look to the right, and I took another picture so you can get a better, see it better. That is Revelation 6 and 10 and Revelation 19 and 2. This is absolutely enormous. We already know. If you've been riding with me for a while, you already know where we're going to go with Revelation 6 and 10. This is letting you know that this is talking about the Americas, that this innocent and righteous blood that was spilt by the wicked was here in the Americas. This is your ammunition for anyone that's sitting there talking about how America has nothing to do with prophecy. America's not in the Bible. That's not over. That we don't know what's going on with America. This is your proof right here. Look at that. There's your that was their whole excuse for taking the Apocrypha out of the Bible. Oh, well, there's no references to other parts of the scriptures, other parts of, so we took it out. No, you guys were just real slick with it. I said this is a huge key to prophecy. This is a huge key to understanding what is going on today. See, they switched it up and make it seem as if these prophecies are going to be fulfilled in the future when the Antichrist comes. They already fulfilled it. Read that part again. Let's say that again. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls, of the just complain continually. The souls of the just are complaining continually. Think of the hundreds of millions of our people that have been killed, and these other nations have ignored it. Do not admit to their faults. Do not admit to their actions. That's what this is talking about right here. And these souls are waiting and continually complaining to the Most High every day. So any Christian that wants to sit there and act like they're the elect, explain this away. And saying, oh, well, I haven't read that, so therefore I'm not going to be held accountable. That's a bunch of BS. Because this is from 1801. This is way older than any other Bible I'm sure most of you are using. It has the precepts and it has the Apocrypha already in it. Now, if the priesthood of Mahan is taking it out, that doesn't mean that these prophecies are null and void. As you can see, the prophecies are being fulfilled anyways, even though your churches took them out. These prophecies are still being fulfilled. The destruction is coming. The Father's telling you why he's bringing the destruction. He's telling you right here. It says, I will suffer them. It says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. You have ignored the Most High's people. You've ignored what you've done to them. You have not tried to make amends. You lie about everything. And the Most High says, we're done with that. Now comes the destruction. Let's read a little bit more. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. There's your Numbers 35 and 33. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. Showing you this is the second Egypt. And just like there was plagues before, plagues are coming again. And will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God, shall bring upon it. That's what you're seeing happening right now. These are the prophecies that your churches, Christians, Catholics, doesn't matter, are all hiding from you. They knew about this information and they took it out. and they hid it, and they will not teach you anything about it. Read a little bit more of this. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. You got that fearful constellations. You got that Pluto coming back. You got that Pluto making that sign, letting you know that your time is up. And that's definitely going to be fearful for the other nations when they realize that, you know, Pluto is bringing death and destruction to the system. That is definitely going to be a fearful constellation. Hence why I've been telling you, don't be looking at those things. Okay? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. You know, see, hearing all that right now. Oh, I'm going to give you another 800 million. I'm going to give you 13 some odd billion. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, because they're just moving their equipment up off these lands and not wanting the world to know what's going on. They've lied about everything, so they can't tell you the truth now. So now they got to make up some reason to be moving all this military equipment off these lands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And this is all being brought about because of the innocent and righteous blood you shed when you came over here to the Americas. This is payback for that. And your churches, Christian and Catholic, all of the denominations, are not telling you this. It's a little bit more, so you can read a little bit more of this here. So 2 Ezra 15. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses, okay, with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. And people keep talking about, oh, we're not going to have any food, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. Well, it's all in the Bible, but it's in a lot of the books that you have not been told. And you know, you got some Gentiles trying to talk about these things now. Oh, 2 Ezra, we got to read that. We need to know that because of, but they're not telling you these precepts. They're not telling you that this is because of what happened in 1492 and on. They're not showing you about how you guys came over here and destroyed, you know, the 10 tribes. They ain't talking about that. So even still, they're still giving you only partial truths. Behold, saith God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. You got to pay for what's done to us. All of the kings, all of the countries. Why is that? Psalms 83. You've all been confederate. Just because you try to mention a little bit something now, you try to admit a little something now in your little newscast, don't mean anything. Most High said, all of your kings. I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, because he knows that all of you have been confederate against the Most High and his people. Now you're seeing why they took this out. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. You still are doing these things to the Most High's chosen people. You're still destroying them, killing them like dogs in the street, thinking you don't have to pay. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. Most High is not, he's gonna make you pay. And that's what this is talking about right here. Now let's take a look at those couple of precepts. Let's see here. This will be Revelation 19 and 2. But take a look there at the breakdown. God is praised in heaven, okay, for judging the great whore and avenging the blood of his saints. It's not the Catholic or Christian church that are the saints either. No one has shed their innocent blood. They've been the tools that have gone around the world shedding innocent blood. So, and after these things, I heard a great voice of much people in heaven saying, Alleluia, salvation and glory, okay, and honor and power unto the Lord our God. Okay, here's verse 2. This is the one that was referenced in 2 Ezra 15. For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. Avenged the blood, right, of his servants at her hand. What you did to the Israelites is going to be paid for. That was a precept that was right there in 2nd Ezra to get the correct understanding of what's going on today and why the things are happening today. There you go, Revelation 6. And they started at 10. Let's read 10 first. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So a group of people were massacred, were killed, and they're up there asking the Most High, how long before you judge and avenge our blood of them that dwell on the earth? How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And he says, 11, you got to read around it. And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that thou should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren, brothers, sisters, all right, that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. Now, let's go to 8 to let you know who were these people that were being killed. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Now we know that's Europeans coming over here to the fourth part, the Americas. That's what you're seeing right here. That's the prophecies going on right now. You came with the sword. That was your blessing, Esau. Hunger, death, and you came with your dogs, and you came with your horses, your beasts. Okay? He goes, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. Those were the ones that were slain. The Israelites that were here. The Aborigines that you've gone out of your way to hide. The statues you've hidden. The history you've hidden. The people you've moved into these lands and said that they were the ones that were always here. Now let's take a look real quick at what the NIV did. So the NIV and these other translations, how they switched it up. You're gonna catch them red-handed, and how they switched it up, and how they've hidden this truth. What do they say? Oh, don't read that King James. That's confusing. It's gonna be confusing for you. Here, take this NIV. We've changed it up so it's much easier to understand. Yeah, much easier for them to cover up their lies, cover up their actions. So that now at the end, when all these things are happening, you'll have no idea. Revelation 6 and let's see here. And 8. I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over a fourth of the earth, to kill by sword, famine, and plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth. Now, see how they did right there? They were given power over a fourth of the earth. Oh, just one fourth of the earth. They were able to kill just anything in one fourth, not the fourth part of the earth, but one fourth of the earth. See, that's these little changes. And then people will be like, well, "That's what it says right here. It doesn't say fourth part. My Bible doesn't say fourth part. My Bible says one fourth. So therefore, and that's because you don't want to do any research. You don't want to see what was originally there. Then they can just make a little change like that, and you'll just roll with it because you don't want to know the truth anyways. Now, when you really realize this, like the vast majority of the world has been confederate against us, so they don't want to hear the truth because they know that they're going to have to pay for these things. So they don't even want to really even have that discussion. They don't even really want to talk about it. But it showed you. I just wanted you to see how they changed that up. They were given power over a fourth of the earth. Like I said, not the fourth part, but a fourth of the earth. That's not Satan. Doesn't change the whole thing, just makes subtle changes here, but it's enough to throw everything off. And then you don't realize that was them coming over here. This doesn't connect to America. And then all of a sudden, oh, we don't know what's going on with America. We don't know. Maybe it's a huge revival and everyone gets raptured away. Yeah, okay. This shows you how they work. But that's okay, because we got this right here. Older books, The Fourth Part of the World, an astonishing epic of global discovery, imperial ambition, and the birth of America. Older books, older information before the NIV and before they tried to change all this information. This is almost unbearably thrilling, an elegant and thoughtful account. Okay, the Earth is divided into three parts. One of which is called Asia, the second Europe, the third Africa. Apart from these three parts of the world, there exists a fourth part beyond the ocean, which is unknown to us. Isidore of Seville, Etymologies, 600 AD. So they already knew about this whole fourth part thing. This is 600 AD, way before your NIV, way before you try to go ahead and change this information up, way before you try to hide this stuff. The fourth part, America. Not one fourth, not a quarter of the earth. You were given the fourth part, America, which you were not able to get over here. You weren't able to come over here before. You knew it existed, but you knew the Most High wasn't letting you come over here. You coveted that opportunity. So when you got it, you went crazy once the Most High gave you, the reins and gave you control over the fourth part. But this here just shows you how, with the links that they go to hide this information. So like I said, what if everything we learned was a lie? It is. Everything you have learned is a lie. And now the Most High is giving you the opportunity to hear this truth. What you do with it is between you and the Most High. Crying, she told them, I'm scared to die now. For me, that's confirmation. And it's definitely confirmation to me as well. So a lot of information to unpack. Most High is connecting many of these dots and showing you how deep this rabbit hole goes and how the Most High is calling all the kings of the earth to reverence him, because you're going to have to pay, because you've all been confederate. It shows you how deep this Psalms 83, confederation is, and now it's time to pay. Now you see what we're up against is why it's so hard, to get this information out, because at so many different levels, there are so many people who are confederate against the Most High's chosen people. But that's okay though, because we have the Most High and we have the Holy Spirit and we have the angels that are here working for us, working with us, protecting us, leading us, guiding us. And it's a beautiful thing to see. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who was the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahushai. Shalom.